One, two, three. Everybody, we are back. It is Tape Don't Lie. It's your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Go ahead and get that button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you don't like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Sorry, hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Also, leave a comment if you like it. And leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, make sure you follow me and BD on Twitter at the Mark John NFL, at BD Williams 18. I'd like to welcome everybody in here, talk about a little Raiders stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know, do a little rock your scene today. Do a little rock your scene. For a little breakdown, show exactly what he's doing. I'm gonna do my Davante Adams video that I messed up. I got a lot of complaints about, so I took it down. I'm a man of the people. I like to listen to the comments and the people. So
we're gonna run it back.
We're gonna run it back. We're gonna do it on this show. But see, Andre said I deleted the video midway through. Sorry about that, Andre, while you're watching. But I had a lot of complaints. I didn't want to deal with complaints. Right. So, we want to give you guys the best content that we can get you. So, I saw people didn't like it. So I wanted to make sure that, we give you the best thing that we can do. So that's what we do here, B, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I feel good. I'm feeling the same. We got Davante Adams. We talked about it already. There's been some really small, minor acquisitions. Nothing to get me worked up over. Kaiser, cool, I guess. Kyler Fackrell. By the end of the year, Kyler Fackrell will be like a fan favorite. He'll have really nothing stats, but he'll have a couple clutch plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's he's like a white boy with long hair. There's a good segment of Raider Nation that will fall in love with Kyler Fackrell because he plays he plays his heart out for sure. Mm-hmm. He's a solid player. Kyler Fackrell, I think, elevates this the depth chart. He's better than Malcolm Kuntz. He's the third edge. Malcolm Kuntz is still the fourth edge. Okay, Kyler Fackrell's proven starter now in the NFL. Go back to his year with the Giants under Patrick Graham. Yeah. So I might do a Kyler Fackrell thing eventually. He'll be a backup on this team. And then the other guy that I need to look into is this Vernon Butler character, because that's the size. That's the size of a Patrick Graham defensive tackle, 6'4", 320. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about Patrick Graham's defense. Big guys, right? So I'm excited to see because I've heard really good things about Vernon Butler. I don't think I ever scouted Vernon Butler when he came out from Louisiana Tech. I don't know if I watched him. I can't remember now. But so I got to jump into this player now. I think he's got about 5 or 6 years of NFL film in here. So I'll take a look at that, and maybe I'll be excited about it. But these are depth pieces probably for the most part. Mm-hmm. Maybe Vernon Butler's a starter, but these are depth guys. Correct me.
I think Billings is a guy that we don't talk about that's still there. That's just chilling. Nobody even acts like he was the first signing of the Raiders. Everybody acts like he didn't exist.
Oh, Andrew Billings.
Yeah. Billings. I mean, he's not a bad nose tackle. He had a down year last year coming back from COVID, but the year before that, he was a pretty good player. So he's not somebody that, maybe they can get him back going and, revitalize his career maybe. But he wasn't a bad player when he was playing. So then you bring in Vernon Butler. He's also that type of player, kind of same type of player that Billings is. I'm pretty sure Butler played for Carolina.
Yep.
I think it's the same guy, right? He played for Carolina. He played for Buffalo the past couple of years. He played that kind of that nose tackle role. I think he backed up Phillips more than he wanted to, or probably more Oliver too, because he was kind of more the backup for if Ed Oliver didn't really work out like they wanted to. But then Ed Oliver took the next step this past year. He actually started to reach his potential, so they're really excited about him out in Buffalo, which I'm kind of still which could be the fourth pick of the draft, but whatever. With Ed Oliver, but Vernon Butler is coming in, and I think he could be a decent player for us for sure. I mean, I think defensive tackle is one of those positions where You don't have to go big. That's why I was a big like Tim Settle guy. I really wanted Tim Settle, somebody like that you could kind of just put in there. Like maybe he's like 25, and you're like, oh my god, and you got like a big defensive tackle that's like getting 10 sacks. You're like, oh my god, it's one of those positions, like especially with like safety too, like linebacker. You could probably just find some guy and you put him in. And you're like, oh my god, he's really good if in your right system. So I think that I like the way they're doing defensive tackle. They're not trying to get crazy and give Sebastian Joseph Day $10 million. So
there you go. Yeah. Someone's asking about Isaiah Buggs. Did the Raiders sign Isaiah Buggs?
I'm not. Is he a safety? I don't know who that is.
No, he's a defensive tackle. He's just a guy.
Okay.
If they did sign Isaiah Buggs, I would guess he'd be cut at camp. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into Rock Ya-Sin, my Rock Ya-Sin breakdown. Is that cool, Marcus?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we segue into this? Okay, so I'm gonna talk about Rock Ya-Sin. This is the first time I'm watching Rock Ya-Sin in depth since he came into the NFL. I only watched Rock Ya-Sin on broadcasts before, and then I did watch him in depth coming out. His Temple film. I watched that coming out, so I was familiar with the player, but I was excited to kind of see what we had in store here. Here, let me share my screen. We'll just go through it here.
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. All right, so let's talk about Rock Ya-Sin. First things first, let's talk about him playing press man coverage. Okay, here we go. Bottom of the screen, going up against Raiders' very own Bryan Edwards. Okay, I want you to watch his feet and I want you to watch his hands. Okay, he does a great job of using his hands and feet independently from each other. Okay. And his footwork is always so clean to keep his feet in a spot where he can cut the guy off before he gets his hands on. And then you also see him there just hassle Bryan Edwards the entire rep, and, not give up any separation. Again, feet, then the hands, and then Bryan Edwards even tries to push off at the top of that route. But Rock Ya-Sin, because he's so competitive, because he's so physical, it's not enough separation, okay? Again, we're just watching hands and feet here, okay? So he's playing it. He's going up against Stephon Diggs. Watch his feet. We're going to use what's called a step kick. And the hands don't come on until 8 yards down the field, okay? So that's not a true press. That's not a physical press, right? This is called a step kick. So he has different types of press in his tool bag. Here we go. We're going to see step kick again. So patient with his feet, effortlessly getting into that upfield shoulder position, downfield. You don't think that he's threatened by speed, okay? He's not worrying about that. And you see how patient he is, okay? Here's another example, but this time they're in two-man. Okay, so he's playing press, but he's playing press in two-man, so that means now he can switch up his technique, and we're going to see him take more of a lateral step, okay, and get his hands on now. And you see him get into that back shoulder position because he wants to undercut, okay? He wants to get underneath. He's got safety over the top. He doesn't need to be worried about getting beat deep here. He wants to undercut something. And he does such a good job throwing off the timing of this route right here. I say he gets an assist for that interception. Come on. Great job throwing that off. Now, we talked about getting the hands on. Okay, here he doesn't ever get the hands on. And before he gets that contact key, he turns around and he kind of loses that receiver right there. That's one bad rep I was able to find in press man coverage. He wasn't even targeted on it. Okay, so safe to say he's probably pretty good. This is an interesting rep. Going up against the Raiders, going up against Deshaun Jackson here. Hold on, let me find it. Yeah, it's the next one. Okay, going up against Deshaun Jackson. Bottom of the screen. Okay, he's in man on Deshaun Jackson. Watch his feet again. Watch his hands. Great job. Great job. And one thing he does here again, late in the rep, peeks at the quarterback, loses Deshaun Jackson, right? But finishes. So we got up and down rep there. Most importantly, finishes. gets pass breakup. Now, I actually like Rock Ya-Sin even better in zone, believe it or not. I think he's a very well-rounded corner. He can play a multitude of techniques. He can play from a pedal. This is relatively unremarkable rep here because he's not targeted. But we're going to get Yankee from the Rams, okay? And the Colts are in cover 3. And this is just an example of a modern cover 3 adjustment. Gus Bradley never used it. He didn't believe in modern cover 3. He believed in like old school cover 3, right? This is a modern cover 3 adjustment. And we see this in here, get that deep crosser. And what is he doing? He's pointing out. He's saying, hey, safety, nail down on the crosser. I'm going to overlap to the post here. We'll switch positions. Okay, don't let them attack our leverage. So we see Rock Ya-Sin capable of making those adjustments on the fly, those really tough NFL-only adjustments you only see on Sundays, okay? This is something else that you really only see on Sundays, and you're only going to see from a handful of teams, perhaps even Patrick Graham being one of them, okay? This is very interesting rep, okay? This is a linebacker who walked out and is a man alignment on a running back. This is a safety who's in man alignment on the tight end. And we got a corner over here, okay? And a corner over here, Rock Ya-Sin. And a nickel. Okay, so if I'm the quarterback and I see a linebacker all the way out wide in man alignment, we get man alignment really across the board, okay? You're thinking, oh, they're in man coverage, obviously, okay? And this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. This is why Darius Leonard is like one of the best in the entire NFL. They actually end up playing cover 4. Darius Leonard is going to bail into cover 4 like he's a corner. Never seen a linebacker do that in my entire life. Incredible adjustment. And then we see Rock Ya-Sin here. He's really the one making the play here. He's playing the nickel spot. He's playing the nickel spot in this coverage adjustment here. And he's going to zone it up. And you see him do such a great job staying in this passing lane where Stafford wants to go. Stafford is trying to move him around with his eyes here. And you see Ya-Sin make Stafford prevent that touchdown, allow the coverage to get there. So great zone rep from Rock Ya-Sin. Here's another one we're going to get. This is really the Chiefs play here where we get the inside post, right? And then we get this like fake corner, big post here. You know what I'm talking about, Marcus? The Chiefs do this all the time. So Rock Ya-Sin is going to see it going up against the guys in the division. I think he does a great job staying on top of that. So, you don't see him getting blown by, okay? Here's another example of a zone coverage rep. We're going to be in palms is the coverage. And we're going to get a post wheel. And Ya-Sin does such a great job right here staying with this post as long as possible, baiting Tom Brady into throwing this wheel, and you see him come off of it, okay? They call him Rock because his hands are made out of stone, all right? Other than that, that's a beautiful play, okay? Look at him. Just that's the GOAT. That's Tom Brady. He's sick because he's like, man, I could have picked off the GOAT right there. So it's a great play. Obviously, it could have been an even better play if he caught it. Here we go. Here's another cover 4 adjustment. What's happening? We got number 1 going away. So what are we doing? We're pointing it out. We're telling our safety, hey, right? Telling the safety, nail down on that. We're going to go ahead and find work. Go ahead and help out the post safety, the cover 4 safety on the opposite side of the field. You see him make these kind of adjustments pretty seamlessly. It's clear that he's got a great understanding of pattern distributions. So, I mean, overall, really good. Man, zone, you name it, Rock Ya-Sin, really solid, okay? Here's an example of something that he could probably do a little better going up against Cooper Kupp. I mean, Cooper Kupp, you can't really name many wide receivers, if any, that are better than Cooper Kupp. And we're going to get a little bit of a bang post here in the red zone against cover 3. I think he just can do a slightly better job leverage stepping, okay? Just, if he's 1 yard on this outside shoulder of Cooper Kupp, perhaps he's able to break this up and contest this a little better than he did. Got beat. Hey, it's Cooper Kupp. You're going to get beat by Cooper Kupp. He's the best that there is, really. Now, That should have said tackling. Okay, now when I watched Rocky Scene in college, fantastic tackler, very physical player. What I watched from Rocky Scene in 2021 tape, okay, it's definitely calling that into question. Now, this is an example of a good play. It shows that he is capable. We're going to get a reverse from Robert Woods and Rocky Scene. He's going to fight all the way through traffic on the opposite side of the field, make this play. Fantastic play to not only recognize and trace down, but then to also finish. Look at that. No gain. Great play. Now, he's capable. I show that to say that he's capable, but too often from the tape, I'm seeing stuff like this where we're just kind of lacking physicality, getting pushed around on the perimeter. You run this play at the corner because you don't think that he can tackle. You leave him unblocked on the edge. Rakusin proved it right here. Okay. I think that his tackling is definitely questionable at best. I think this is a really bad example. We're in cover 2. We get the swing route. We get the flat route. So Rakusin, what does he do? He comes down, comes to balance. Okay. And just really, really poor tackling effort here. And then this is probably my least favorite example. We get, a speed out from Deshaun Jackson. Okay. Rocky Scene, go. Let's accelerate through the ball carrier here. Blow him up, please. But you see him, he comes to balance and just gets stiff armed by Deshaun Jackson. Are you kidding me? I would be stiff armed by Deshaun Jackson because I sit on the couch and I just, watch it on my computer all day. But you're a professional corner. Please blast Deshaun Jackson. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Right? So I was really surprised to see I guess he's making some business decisions in the tackling department. Honestly,
Yeah.
It was discouraging to see that. You have to tackle in Patrick Graham's defense. You play so much cover 2. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if that's something that he can improve on, because I definitely think that he is capable, more than capable, of being a solid tackler in the NFL. But I guess the want to is kind of missing for Yassine. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's an injury related thing, but that's something that we're going to have to keep our eye on as 2022 unfolds.
Maybe it's Derrick Henry.
Yeah, tackling in that division, right? Yeah. That's tough.
He's just tired of it, man. Making business decisions, taking tackles.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just throw your body around like it's college, like you're playing at Temple. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, that was good tape, man. I know he has good tape. I know he's a good man in press coverage. I know he played pretty well over there. It was just interesting that they ended up trading him. I mean, they needed pass rush more than they needed a corner, to be honest. They have no pass rush over there, especially for the defensive ends. They have nothing, to be honest. I mean, they have Kwity Pie, but I mean, where is he gonna take his next step? Do you trust to take this next step, or you go get you a unique Ngakwe to make sure you have some kind of pass rush over there? So it's interesting that they shipped him over there, but we got him. I think he's going to be a good player. I just wouldn't expect like a Pro Bowler or something like that. I expect a good player is going to fit into the scheme and play well. But he might get beat sometimes. It's not like something that he's going to just be shut everybody down. But like the most average receiver, that's you're not going to face a superstar every single week.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What tapes did I show? I showed Rams tape. I showed Buccaneers tape. I showed Buffalo. Right. I showed good teams that he's playing against. I wasn't showing him playing the Jets and the Jaguars. Like, I could have done that, right? But I was like, why even watch those tapes? Like, who cares, right? Let me see him against the actual good quarterbacks, right? So we did see solid tape against those teams. I agree with you. He's going to get beat. Why? Because you're a corner in the NFL and you get beat. Like, it's just these wide receivers are too good. These quarterbacks are too good. Okay, so there's no more, like, even we'll find tape of Jalen Ramsey getting beat if you want us to. We could find it, right? There's no shutdown, like there's no Darrelle Revises anymore in the NFL. That being said, I think that he is going to be solid, like you're saying. I don't think he's going to be a liability, to say the least. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that he is more valid as far as playing man coverage than Casey Hayward was. So at least you got that as well. You just have maybe a little bit more well-rounded corner than Casey Hayward was, but Casey Hayward was just like elite in zone. In cover 3, elite, right? Like he was like probably the best in the NFL right now playing cover 3, and that works when you play with Gus Bradley because that's all he calls. So makes sense for I guess Casey Hayward to get up out of here, go to a different scheme. But I'm excited about Rocky Sin. I think that he's going to be all right for the Raiders.
All right, man, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, just to to get the secondary going, I still think they're going to add somebody else. I don't know who it is. I mean, definitely you can't look at the draft anymore. It's like to try to figure out what I'm trying to do this week. I mean, do I just keep? I'm just keep watching quarterbacks. Like, yes, I really not do. Because I mean, if you get to these for the draft, you got to start watching some later round guys. Like I started watching. So I was telling you about Woolen. I was watching today, and I think that he could play safety. And you're talking about the guy that they want to play all over the place. He has some reps as safety too. That I think that's somebody that can get late. That can also play corner too. Move around, and that dude looks athletic on tape. Like in person, it wasn't as crazy, but which is interesting to me. But on tape, man, you see everything that you saw at the combine on tape. So it's somebody like that that's exciting. That they can still get a corner that they could mold into something when they have a Rocky Sin, the Trayvon Mullins, those type of guys, and then you could maybe figure out where you want to put him. Because I'm telling you, man, he at safety he has range. He has one play. He was just like I was like, oh my god. So there's guys like that. You could you have your Rocky Sins, you have your Trayvon Mullins.
When you're going up against Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, right? When you're going up against these teams that really want to air it out on you, you got a guy with literally like this is Olympic caliber athlete. It's the Woolen kid, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that works out for you in a couple of years. Yeah, and I'm a big fan of drafting big corners and stashing them on your practice squad, put them on the PUP, whatever. Keep them on your roster as long as you can. Have them develop in the system because now you have this big 6'4" corner who you can send out there to play man on tight ends, right?
Yeah.
You have that. They talk about creating a wide receiver room like a basketball team. You got your power, your point guard, you got your power forward types, right? You got your small guys, your big guys. Yeah. You should also have that in your secondary, okay, to match some, what these other guys are giving you, these other teams are giving you. So I'm a big fan of drafting big defensive backs and just keeping them, stashing them for a couple of years and seeing how they turn out. So we'll see what, if any, rookies really play because it's going to be third, fourth round, guys that are giving the shot. So we'll see if those guys actually even get any play.
So somebody's asking about Trayvon Mullen. Is Trayvon Mullen sticking around?
Yes.
Is he better in zone than man?
Way better in man than zone. Trayvon Mullen is he's a lot longer than Rocky Sin is. If you just going off of, I'm not talking about measurements, but like Trayvon Mullen, he's a long, leggy corner. I'm sure if you looked at how long their legs are, right, we're going to see a big difference. Okay.
Yeah.
And the problem with leggy corners is they have a hard time backpedaling. And that's why I was so disappointed when Mullen went down this year, because Casey Hayward has basically gotten through his entire NFL career without ever backpedaling. He plays in a half turn only. It's crazy. Yeah. He never backpedals. And I was so excited to have Trayvon Mullen learn from Casey Hayward, maybe playing in this half turn. Maybe that's a little easier than backpedaling for him, So we always kind of saw Trayvon Mullen struggle in zone because of those things. But when it comes to press man, I think Trayvon Mullen has just as good of press man tape as any corner as we're going to see. When he's on, he's playing fantastic. But you can't live in press man. You can't just do one thing. So it's not okay. It's not that's not good enough to be like, oh yeah, he's great in press man. But if he's a liability in other coverages, that's a problem. So we do have to see Trayvon Mullen get better.
Okay. All right. What else? I think we can move on to the elephant in the room here that everybody was really wants to talk about is this offensive line. Brandon Parker's on the way back. Brandon Parker is on the way back into town. You know, we talked about this. We talked about this last week, though. We did talk about. I don't know. Probably. I don't know. When's the last time we did a show? I don't remember. But we did talk about the offensive line a little bit and how they believe that they can coach these guys up.
Yeah.
And you know, it gets really interesting now that they're bringing Brandon Parker and they brought Illuminor back. Okay, because now that basically just kind of confirmed that. Like, I mean, everything's basically confirmed that we're running it back with this offensive line. Now, what I will say, okay, there's two ways to look at it. You could be really freaking out, which I think most Raiders fans are. I think they're freaking out a lot of it. A lot of people are freaking out. And, I mean, you can have a good idea. I mean, they weren't good last year. They weren't a good offensive line. They didn't really do well overall, okay? But there was some good moments in there. There was some good games, right? So if you're like a coach and you're coming in and there's a young offensive line that is sitting there, right? And they're young. You got to think about it. I mean, Colt Miller was year 5, right? Colt Miller, year 5, okay? Yeah, John Simpson, he's year 3. Andre James, year 4. Alex Leatherwood, year 2. And then if you choose Brandon Parker, which I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to choose Brandon Parker overall. I think Brandon Parker is just they just want somebody to kind of keep the cohesiveness of this line going, and we'll see about that. But I'm not sure because Luminor can play both. He can play guard and he can play tackle. So if they want to see somebody talking about Leatherwood at right tackle, if they want to put Leatherwood at right tackle, which is not out of the spectrum, they haven't told us either way. Right? They haven't told us either way what's going to happen. So, Illuminor.
Even if they did tell us, it's not out of the question. You know, like
yeah, exactly. And Illuminor can do both. And I thought Illuminor was benched for no reason last year. That really pissed me off. I really feel like that you should have left Leatherwood out there because Illuminor was doing so well inside that they could have figured it out. I mean, you get the right tackle, you could help him, you could chip him. There's a lot of things you could do to help him as a right tackle while he gets better and he can learn, but they just kind of, I don't know what his problem with Illuminar was. You know what I mean? We're not putting Alex Barnes is not playing. I just want to say that he's terrible. Let you guys know that he's not. He's awful. Alex Barnes is not playing. Okay, he's there, but you do not want Alex Barnes playing. That's one thing. There's one thing you guys do not want is Alex Barnes on the field. If Alex Barnes is on the field, you don't want that. All right. Denzel Good. I guess I can address this because everybody's people are gonna be mad at me about this stuff. They're gonna be mad because I'm not a good fan. And and I like John Simpson. Everybody hates John Simpson and likes Denzel Good. So I'm like alone on my analysis of that.
You're alone. You're alone.
I'm alone. Yeah. I'm dead alone, right? Because he Johnson has a lot of lowlights, and I don't know what's up with Denzel Good. I mean, Denzel Good just is he's a backup. He's a backup player. And I always said that, but he's a fan favorite. Fans love Denzel Good. But I don't think
they love Denzel Good because he got hurt early on and now there's no memory of him having any bad plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's like gone from their minds enough that they have like a good feeling about Denzel Good. But I agree with you. You have so much more athleticism and explosiveness from Simpson.
Yeah.
That you have to play him first and see if you can coach this out of him because the starter that he could be is just so much better than what Denzel Good could bring to your team.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I put this on Twitter. I mean, John Simpson, if you want to, people love PFF with the linemen because, since you can't really watch linemen and nobody really breaks them down, you depend on some of these metrics. And, PFF had him 13th in pass block grade the last 4 weeks during the 4-game winning streak, and he didn't give up a sack or a QB hit. So he's not getting benched. You're not going to bench a second-year player that looks like that he could, if you just get his hands. I mean, it's a simple
national championship caliber, Power 5, huge big-time recruit. Top 100 draft pick,
30-inch vertical,
50 pound. Yeah, he's starting. Okay, this is the pedigree.
34-inch arms at guard. Right. Yeah. Power like crazy.
This is what a starter looks like. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he was getting better. And all they do is got to put his hands inside. They put his hands inside. He's fine. I really feel like that. He just got started. He bear hugs people, and I don't know what the hell cable. I don't know what they were watching afterwards that they decided that they couldn't fix him. And if you look at the Josh McDaniels quote, which I want to pull up because I think I sent it to you in the picture, I want to read this because I think this kind of tells us everything. And we had like some like I think it was like what Vic Tafer was like against it. It like bothered him that Josh McDaniels said this, which I thought was interesting. He's like he punted the conversation, but okay. But let's talk about this. So as you gotten to evaluate the film, when you look at Alex Leatherwood, do you see him as a guard or tackle? And what are your thoughts on him? Josh McDaniels says, maybe I should share this. Maybe. Should I share this? That's probably the right thing to do. So everybody sees it. Hold on. Chrome tab. Here we go. We got everybody see that?
Yeah.
Get it? All right, cool. All right, so I see him as a guy that played a lot of football. There's a lot to evaluate. Playing as many games as you did as a rookie, there's good and there's bad. But when you're that young, you look at it as what we can work with and what we can fix. What can we fix? I'm not reading this directly. There's a lot to do in that process. I've already spoken to him. That process is under the way. I think what we'll end up doing is whatever's best for the Raiders. He's shown the ability to play in both spots, more guard last year than tackle, but we see him as being a contributor. We see him being a guy that we're really excited to work with. We're going to try to get the most out of him. And I'm pretty sure that's what they think about everybody. So, I mean, yeah. But basically that's, and a lot of this is we're not getting the John Gruden fluff or trying to make a joke, trying to make fun of the media, trying to throw them this way when he's really doing this. I mean, that's the most straightforward answer that you could get. I mean, he really told us that we shouldn't really be shocked about how they feel about everybody else with that saying. I know Brandon Parker shocks me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't see what it is, Brandon Parker. Maybe they see a 35-inch arm freak with who could move, right? And it's interesting how this has all played out because I always wondered to myself if it was Tom Cable or if it was the line, and they think it's Tom Cable. So we're moving forward. Hopefully they can fix this guy's technique because, to be honest, let's keep it real. If they fix these guys, there's a lot of talent. I mean, Leatherwood has a lot of talent. He does. As a talented offensive lineman, he's talented. I think what's wrong with Leatherwood a little bit more to me is he just have like a serious mean streak. I think he's not. Somebody needs to piss him off. I need somebody somebody needs to make him more angry. Make him a little bit more angry. Play a little more anger as an offensive lineman because I mean he's getting better though. He got better. And I think that they could work with some of this, but I am a little bit shocked that they didn't bring like anybody in. I thought they were going to bring like some guy in to bring some kind of, you know what I mean, like competition or something. I don't know. But just you sit back and I take a look. Okay, they're young, and that's what it is. They feel like there's a young offensive line because they are. I mean, they're young and they're cheap. So, like, if you could fix these guys, I mean, you don't have to pay Simpson for like another 2 years, right? You fix him, you ain't got to play Leatherwood for a while. I mean, Miller's already paid, Parker's cheap, and then James, they already restructured him. He's cheap. They might bring somebody in the competition for James, but it's gonna be interesting what they do with this offensive line.
I think that, like, what do you think about James?
I think James can be. I think James' play strength is still never going to be what you want it to be, but I think he was fine. He's a fine center. He's not going to get in the way. He just got. I think if he gets better playing center longer, I think he can get better at it. Get better at getting those snaps out quicker. Get better at doing the work. Because I really feel like that. It was March, and they traded Roddy Hudson. They called Andre. It's like, hey, Andre, you're starting. And he's like, what? I feel like, but we're gonna pay you. We're giving you like $6 million. Oh, okay, cool. And it kind of just went out there, and I don't think he was really ready to be a starting center. He wasn't. But I think as the year went along, he got better, and I think center you can hide a little bit, right? Because right, he just got to get better at like knowing things. Okay, like knowing where a blitz is coming. He's got to point that out to Leatherwood because Leatherwood was blind half the time, and so was Parker. The center and whoever the running backs are back there, they got to help point that out to the guards and the tackles too. So
Is
It's a
Nick
lot of that.
Martin still on the roster?
No, he's not. He's not on the roster.
It was 1 year deal, huh?
And Jim Morrissey's about to start for the Texans. He's a 7th round pick. Right. He's about to start. There's your center right there, right?
It's the Texans.
I mean, I guess you're right. It is the Texans. It is the Texans. But
I personally, I'm just gonna throw my piece out here about the offensive line. I'm not worried about the offensive line. I think that there's a lot of talent here, and just like anything, it comes down to coaching. Okay, we saw Gus Bradley coach a secondary with Dallin Levitt. Okay, Brandon Faison, Desmond Trufant out of retirement, like a 37-year-old Desmond Trufant. He was a shell of his former self. Okay, we saw him start a 5th round rookie in the nickel the entire year.
Yeah.
Okay, who was the other guy that they had? Teamer. Oh gosh, and this was highly questionable secondary, highly questionable rookie free safety the entire year. Okay, and he was able to coach that unit into being a playoff caliber defense, part of a playoff caliber defense, right? And that's not the talent was not good enough. It just was not good enough last year, and Gus Bradley made it work because why? Great coach, focus on fundamentals, focus on technique. Okay, it's coaching. Okay, and I think that what the offensive line has to work with right now is so much more talent than what we just talked about from the secondary last year that the Raiders had. Yeah. That a great coach should be able to get more than a good enough production out of this unit, in my opinion.
Yeah, because as I said, they're talented. Like John Simpson, Barrett Hugs, average defensive tackles. He has terrible technique, and they still can't get past him. This is when he plays Jonathan Allen. He's like, "Oh, that's what you're gonna do? Really? You're gonna do that?" Or he plays Cam Hayward. Like Cam Hayward baptized him. I can't. He literally baptized him into the NFL. Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
He's just like, really,
welcome.
Bro? Like, do you watch tape on me? I'm just gonna do this. Do you watch tape on me? So there's a lot of just technique with these guys. If these guys could just get their damn technique good. And it's probably what these coaches are thinking. And the assistant offensive line coach was there last year. Right? He's there last year. So they're probably asking him questions. You're like, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of this guy? So is it really that they're bad, or is it coaching? Like what is it that is happening with these guys that they're not playing well? And maybe he had a bunch of notes, because that dude is actually really good. I really thought they should have hired him. Clemens. I thought he's a really good up and coming offensive lineman. He really helped Trey Smith come along at Tennessee. He did a lot of work. He played at Tennessee. I do think he's a good coach, and I think that's why they kept him. I mean, obviously they think he's a good coach too, because they kept Edgar Bennett and they kept him. I think he's one of the only other coaches they kept was their assistant offensive line coach. So they see something with him, and they probably took his opinion serious. And he was here last year, so maybe he's like, well, I mean, we tried to coach him up, but then Cable with you don't know, we don't know. I'm just making.
He threw Cable on the bus.
I'm not doing any rumors. Yeah, he might have threw him under the bus. Like I try to give him ideas, but so it's going to be interesting how they work these guys out, because really, to be honest, let's keep it real. If they fix their technique, they will be good. But if they don't fix their technique, then we know that they're just a lost cause, or they try to, and then they're bad, and then we move along. And the thing, I talked about this on the radio too. I mean, the Patriots. When was the last time the Patriots drafted their first round offensive tackle? Was it Isaiah Wynn?
Wynn was in the first round at the very end. Yeah, Wynn
or Solder, right? But like everybody else, like David Andrews, undrafted. All these other guys are kind of just guys that they found. Trent Brown was a 7th round pick that was a cast off from the Niners, and then he goes to the Patriots, and then he comes back to us. We give him $18 million, best right tackle ever. Or he was coached up by that's that guy's name,
Scarnecchia.
Scarnecchia. Or he's coached up by Scarnecchia, right? Is it that, or is it and then we trade for Trent Brown, and it's there? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting how I think that's good. It has a lot to do with a lot of it. But I see a lot of questions about the scheme, so I want to answer that before we keep going too. power run scheme is what Earnhardt Perkins is. It's a power run scheme. I mean, so historically, if I go through the playbook, what the Raiders used to run when back in 2016 with Bill Musgrave was pure power. That's where they had the Coleccio Assembly and Gabe Jackson before Todd Downing decided that he wanted to do wide zone with them, which made no sense. So you have that power scheme that's etched into the system. It's not, there's not really a zone part of it. The flip though is that we got Mr. Palomalu coming to be the running back coach. What does he do? He's a zone guy. He's been a zone guy for a while. He's under Kubiak guys. They're big time zone rushers, and that's what Jacobs does well. And I don't think McDaniels is an idiot. So I think that we're going to see a lot more zone than we usually see, and they're going to defer to Palomalu. I mean, they already brought the Browns tight end coach. They brought him in for an interview for coordinator. So you know that they're working on something to try to fit
zone
in some kind
related,
of zone schemes to. I mean, because to work with Jacobs, because obviously they like Jacobs a little bit. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with the option, but Jacobs is going to play another year. At least with the Raiders, if they pick up the option, then we know he's playing 2. But we know he's playing at least 1 more year, right? But so they are not dumb, right? So because if they didn't like Jacobs and they're going to run pure power, they need to get rid of him because that's not what he does. So he's still here. He does zone the best. They brought in Palomalu as the running back coach. He does a lot of zone. He has a lot of zone history. I think that they might just do both. I think they're going to be more diverse in the run game than we think because they're adapters. I mean, they're going to mold to what's here, and I think that's what we want to see here going forward. But some of the questions that's when I asked about some of the linemen in a power scheme. I honestly, I think the Raiders, they block pretty well in power scheme, even like Miller and especially like Simpson and even Leatherwood. Like Simpson, power scheme is like Simpson's go-to. I think try to fit him in the zone scheme is a little different too. But Denzel Good is not a zone guy either. But Simpson has the athleticism to get it done, and we saw him have some good blacks on wide zone this past couple of years. But I feel like that they're gonna have to mix it up, man. I mean, because if you are gonna go power, you have to get rid of Josh Jacobs, in my opinion, because he's just not that type of back. And you have to find somebody that you could a draft guy. You could find a power back in the draft that fits that kind of system, or they want to bring somebody in to work it out. But they're gonna mix it up. They're gonna do 2 different systems. They're not gonna be pure power like they usually are. There's no way unless they're getting rid of Jacobs.
You can find any back to run power, right? Yeah, you don't need like a hallmark marquee, right? Like if you're just a power scheme, it's like this is the hole, you hit it. Okay, we're not improvising, we're not bouncing. Okay, if it's there, you hit it. If it's not there, you hit it. You just go there where we tell you to go. Okay, you can just get any back to do that. You don't need the first round back on your team if that's what you're doing. And that's what the Patriots have always done, right? Like, look at they always had it stable. Even when they got a first round back, Sonny Michel, they'll play him and then they'll bench him, and then they'll trade him or whatever it is, So you look at the way that that Josh McDaniels has used running backs, and it's just like, okay, we have like 4 or 5 running backs, different flavors, and we're going to use them according to what their strengths are, But we're not like we don't have like one back, So I do anticipate there's going to be games where, they run that zone because that's a good look for them. But then I think there might be some games where Jacobs gets dialed back a little bit, and they have other backs in there to play the kind of run schemes that they want. So that's my opinion on it. Just looking at McDaniel's history, he's not going to have a feature back. I'd be surprised if he had a feature back.
I will say mixing zone and power. I mean, that's what Shanahan does. I mean, Shanahan just does everything. You're going to play for Shanahan. You better go block every single block. Yes, we do wide zone. Some games we won't even do wide zone. We're just going to just pull. And I think you do want to be diverse like that a little bit. But then you have to have the lineman that can do both, though, because some linemen can only do one thing.
Right.
Some backs. That's the thing. Like some backs can only run one scheme, and a lot of backs are scheme. They have to be schemed into it. Like even like somebody like Adrian Peterson, like if you put him in the wrong scheme, he might not be as great as he as he can be. I mean, of course he's not Raheem Mozart or something, but you know what I mean. Like Raheem Mozart has to be in a wide zone scheme because he has no, that he doesn't have the vision to be straight line. He has to read things and it's like be one cut or cut back and certain guys, but. It's going to be interesting what they do with the run game, to be honest. But I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I don't think they're going to run the ball that much. So it's really just a kind of a cool conversation to have, when we run the ball 15 times a game.
They're going to have like one game this year where Derek Carr attempts like 4 passes. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll run the ball like, 40 times or something like that.
The Chargers. Well, that's why I can't wait. The Chargers are going to get it because I hope we play the Chargers like week 8. So we're just going to pass all over every single team, and then we're going to play the Chargers. And we're just going to it's going to
Jacob Johnson is
3 tight ends, 3 tight ends. Just we'll see how well you could take this right up the middle, right up the gut run. So
you got great pass rushers. Awesome.
Yeah. Let's see what the linebackers could do this. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. So we talked about the offensive line. We talked about run schemes. Okay, I think we should pump the brakes. Raider Nation panicking about guys like Brandon Parker being re-signed. Like, okay, let this guy go to camp and get cut. It's not a big deal. Relax. Okay.
He'll probably get cut. I can see that.
Like, no one said he's a starter, right? But we talked about that. We talked about the run schemes, but you had a Davante Adams breakdown that didn't work out for you last time, right? Do you want to jump into that right now? Do you have time?
Yeah. I can actually get this right. I guess I can watch him do some moves.
I mean, this is what the people are tuning in for. Davante Adams, man.
I know. All right, so let me get this started here.
This is the moneymaker.
The big dog. Yeah.
While you're doing that, we got a question if we're gonna do a mock draft. I think we probably will do a mock draft.
Yeah, I mean, well, I pull this up. Like, how do you guys want us to do that? Like, because it's it's how many picks is it? It's a third, a fourth, and 2 fifths. I mean, do you want us to do like a real mock draft or like a first round one? Like, how do you guys want us to do that? Because that's
like what? Yeah, true.
It's gonna be. Woo. Yeah. Man, I don't know. What do we get to do for the draft, bro? Like, I don't know, man. But we'll figure it out.
Take the day off.
I guess so. All right. So I was doing Davante Adams deep and intermediate routes. I'm gonna do a red zone one by itself. I'll make sure that we do that better, get that production better. But this is basically deep and intermediate routes here. And of course, this guy's fantastic. I really don't want to get into that, but I kind of want to get into a little bit of his talent and his skill here. So let's go ahead and start off with this one. This is just a quick fade, right? Aaron Rodgers, see, he's got one-on-one right here. You got the safety. He's kind of creeping. He still wants this side, right? But we got all these guys in a line. They're blitzing. They're coming after Aaron Rodgers, which I don't know why you'd do that anyways. And you see right here, he just flicks the wrist. But let's go back to Davante Adams here. He's the man, and we're not doing a quarterback breakdown here, Marcus. Don't get lost. All right, here we go. See the jab step, little arm over. He's got this guy reaching. He's hitting this. That's not the shoulder you want to hit as a corner. You don't want to hit this. You don't hit the inside shoulder. You want to hit the outside shoulder. So he's already lost, right? And then Adams is in full speed here. He's already in full speed run, and the ball is already in the air, right? That's kind of the timing that Aaron Rodgers and him already have. We got the corners falling. After the arm over, he can't even get his balance back. And, right there, good back shoulder throw. I still believe he could have hit this right here. In my opinion, if he hit that, he's probably running a little bit because even though Fitzpatrick might get there, I still don't think he does. But back shoulder, we'll take it. First down. See, watch it one more time. Boom, full speed. Great throw. Back shoulder. Boom. All right, him versus Denzel Ward. We'll back this one up. I don't know really what Denzel Ward was thinking here on this one, but I think he's trusting his speed. Because let me know if I'm wrong. It's opening the gate, correct, BD?
Don't open the gate.
Okay, he's opening the gate. But I think he's opening the gate because he's like, this dude runs a 4.6, right? Come on, man. He runs a 4.6. I can open the gate. And if he wants to run a slant, he can't get inside, and I can trust my speed. But play speed here. Here we go. He just runs right past him. Denzel Ward's confused. Denzel Ward's a little confused there. So that's why you don't open the gate, guys, especially against Davante Adams. And then you open the gate and he slows down and catches it and then tosses you to the ground. And you got lucky you tripped him because it would have been an embarrassing touchdown for you probably. This is there's really nobody that can guard him. That's why I love watching this. Like, who really can guard this guy? Like, just not one person. So here's another one against off coverage. I want you to watch Jalen Ramsey up here because I think this is something the Raiders are going to be doing to the Chargers, even though Staley might be a little different because I cut this off a little bit, but Ramsey wasn't here and they moved this player out here, this tight end. They did an adjustment. They moved him out here and it forced Ramsey to move outside. So I think it's something they're going to be messing up with Brandon Staley because same defense, Raheem Morris tried to copy it basically. I don't think he was as good at it for sure, but got Matthew Stafford. Well, you see him getting square here, right? Look at him getting square right before with a little bit of a jab step. This guy's already leaning. He's already toast to me, in my opinion, because he's starting to lean. He looks like an offensive tackle, and he's leaning even more. And then you got another arm over, and then you kind of see Jalen Ramsey right here. He's peeking because he knows that guy 101 is already in trouble. He knows the coverage. He's a smart corner. He's a smart player. He knows that he needs to help. He's not even worried about the tight end, honestly. He's looking right at Davante Adams. And he goes with it, but he beats all of them and the safety before they get there with a terrific throw from Aaron Rodgers. And he lets them know that I'm the truth, which you are, Davante. You are the truth. So here we go. Another one. Just a nice little route there. Doesn't get the ball there. They had a guy inside, but I just want to show that route. Go back one more time here. So almost just quick out of the breaks. Another little arm over. Everything is technique. Like, everything is about him getting open. He talked about it on the PFF podcast. He doesn't want anybody around him when the ball's thrown. He doesn't even want the quarterback to feel like they can't throw him the ball. And you can tell with the way he runs routes. Now we got to get him against Denzel Ward, right? Playing a little quarters coverage, kind of let him go inside there. I don't know why Aaron Rodgers didn't throw it to him here. We'll watch it one more time. Right, see that they double team him. They're trying to cut off any slant route to him, right? So Ward lets him go to the help, but he beats both of them, and he's open for a first down, I believe. But, you check it down. That's fine. It's third down. That's okay. All right. Fourth down. Got a punt. Back to Baker Mayfield, I guess. Guess you face Baker Mayfield, you're not scared. So this is one of my favorite ones. Favorite routes right here, because look at his eyes. Okay, so let me back this up a little bit. This is all eyes. So I want you to watch him in the safety. So he's all eyes. He's running the seam route right here. He's all eyes forward. This gets his safety to turn. Okay, but that's not what he's doing. He's running across her. And he's like, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. You just can't stop him, guys. He's literally unstoppable. Eyes. He's running a seam. Oh, I'm a safety. I got to turn my hips. He's running a seam. I got to help. No. And then make a great catch on a low throw. And then Jalen Ramsey one more time. Jalen Ramsey, right? He got a little stutter step on Ramsey there. I already talked to you about this, BD. I really don't like Ramsey in this position. Right, he's got him like straight legs, kind of just totally out of technique right there. Gets open. First down. So yeah, I mean, I really don't know what to say when I break that guy down. Like, what am I supposed to say? What am I
say it? Say it. Say it.
He's literally unstoppable. I don't understand. I don't know how you stop him. Like, you could double team him. You literally have to hope it's a bad throw from the quarterback. I mean, that's kind of the hope as a corner.
Yeah.
Because if he throws it like anywhere perfect or anywhere high or back shoulder or like, whatever, it's he's unstoppable. He's unstoppable. And I know why he's throwing it back shoulder. I know why he's throwing left shoulder because the safety's coming. But I still think that he probably could have fit it in there. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with that. You can say that I'm dumb. That's fine. I still think he could have fit it in there. He's Aaron Rodgers. I'm just giving Aaron Rodgers too much credit. I've seen him do it before. So I'm like, you're Aaron Rodgers. You could probably fit that in there. It's more like a expectation of him being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I've seen him, especially when he threw it, because he threw it like soon as he hit that break. I feel like he aimed it for him to throw it back shoulder, but if he aimed it for where he was, hit him right in stride. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, guys.
I mean, so the biggest thing for me watching Davante Adams, and I think that your breakdown did a good job illustrating this, is that the skill level is as high as any wide receiver in the NFL, right? Like watching Davante Adams get guys stacked, okay, who are better athletes than him, right? Okay, and run away from them downfield because he's doing things with his arms and his hands and the hand fighting. He's very physical, okay? And that's how you win on the outside, because there is going to be so much hand fighting on the outside in the NFL. You have to be physical in order to win. You have to just have so many tricks in your, up your sleeve. And Davante Adams has them all. He has all the tricks, okay? And as long as you have that, you're going to be able to play your game in the NFL. You don't need to be running 4.3s because you have so many other tricks, right? So he's going to be very productive. What we're seeing isn't like, oh, that's only going to work with, no, this works, period, right? Like, this isn't a guy who just uses athleticism to win, okay? This is incredible amount of just savvy and just understanding, the intelligence that he has when he's out there. It's a joy to watch. This is how football should be played. He's one of the great examples of that at his position right now. So you should be super excited, Raiders. And I think that when Antonio Brown came, we were hoping that we would see this. Obviously, there was like other things going on in Antonio Brown's life, and that got in the way. But now we can really be excited to see this because it's going to work out with Davante Adams, right?
Yeah, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. He's mentioning Waller, but I do think it's funny that Waller's 30 and nobody's ever talked about that ever before. He was 30 all last year. We didn't talk about it like once. He's turning 30 this year, I think. He's turning 30. He's 29 last year. He's turning 30. We never heard a peep about Waller falling off, but Davante Adams is gonna fall off. He's turning 30, but like not a peep about Darren Waller. That's why I know that it's all BS and they're just trying to hate because Darren Waller's turned 32, guys. What about him? Should we trade him? Like, what do we, like, just decide? Oh, we shouldn't pay him again?
Out of all those guys, Hunter Renfrow looks the oldest. He's got the receding hairline. Okay. All right, that was a bad joke. I completely agree with you, and you can say that this would actually be valid for Darren Waller. Because Darren Waller, the way he wins is centered around athleticism, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so when you get to 30, the idea is, oh, are you losing a step, okay? And if how you win is with that step that you just lost, okay? Yeah, that's a concern, okay? But Davante Adams doesn't win with athleticism. He wins with skill. Okay, he's very controlled out there. He's not sprinting as fast as he can and jumping as high. We're not seeing like incredible feats of athleticism out there, but that's what we see from Darren Waller's game. So yeah, that would be more valid to talk about Darren Waller's age, but also modern NFL. These guys are incredible athletes. Even if Darren Waller loses a step, I think that we still got a really good tight end on our hands. So I'm not worried about that either.
I don't think he lost a step at all either. I think he's still a beast. What is him losing a step? A 4.5 tight end?
No. And what people don't understand is the level of like what these athletes have at their disposal right now. Okay, 30 years old is like 26. 20 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
These guys have incredible medicals, everything that they have, their nutrition. Like these guys, 30 is not old anymore for athletes. Okay. It's not. You can be at peak optimal performance at 30 for sure, 100%. And you should be able to do that, up until maybe like 35, 37, honestly.
Yeah. So. They're getting on you because you're bald, bro. It's your 100 info joke.
Yeah, look, that's why I said it. What you're
saying that you're saying Renfro just go with it, right? You just sometimes when the hairline's receding and you keep fighting it, you just got to shave it off, bro. Just go bald, Renfro's, I think he's got to embrace it.
I recognize the dilemma that Hunter Renfro is going through right now. Okay, I recognize it. No, I'm just kidding. Anything else though that we want to talk about? We're talking about age with Davante Adams. I mean, we're at the hour mark right now officially.
Yeah. I think we're good, man. I think we talked about a lot. Talked about the offensive line. The changes. Yeah. Last thing I will say, I think that what maybe Josh McDaniels kind of thought is the same offense really is coming back, right? We got the same exact offense coming back, maybe the same line, same running backs, the top two, same Hunter Renfro, same Darren Waller, same Foster Moreau. Maybe Brian Edwards has some competition. We'll probably talk about that next show because we're not going to get all into that right now. But because I want to throw out a name, Tyler Johnson. Do not sleep on Tyler Johnson. I actually talked to a Chargers guy about him because I was trying to figure out why the hell they let him go. And he couldn't figure it out either. So I think he's a sleeper guy that nobody's talking about. Everybody wants a speed guy. It's Tyler. He's just chilling right there. He's just like, hey, I run a 4.3, guys. And I'm like 23, 24. So Tyler's back there. That's a secret guy that I don't think everybody should sleep on. But we just basically plugged in Davante Adams instead of Henry Ruggs. Same offense. So think about that. Their Raiders were 5-2. They averaged 25 points a game. They scored 30 points 4 times. We took out Henry Ruggs and we plugged in Davante Adams. Just think about that. I just want you guys to think about that as we leave the show. That this basically they took out Henry Ruggs and they plugged in Davante Adams. That's how you should think about it. Yeah, just think about leave the rest of the season week 9 from 18. We talk about that part of the season the most. We just got to focus on what happened the first 7 weeks, right? First 7 weeks of happened. We're just plugging Davante Adams in, and hopefully Waller doesn't get hurt. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that is the way to look at it. But anyways, we're out of here, guys. Subscribe. Appreciate everybody listening. I got 237 today. Appreciate everybody that come in, all the comments, all the guys that it's Tyron Johnson, my bad, Tyron Johnson. But all the guys we got in here, really appreciate you guys coming in. BD, you got any last thoughts? Follow us on Twitter at @DMarkJohnNFL, at BD Williams 18. Appreciate you guys listening. Be good. Peace.
Yeah.